So this is the All I Do Is Win, right? It's a youth for books. So it's WIN. It's an acronym. I love acronyms. But the last acronym is always, as a winner, I never lose clever.
Hey, I take that.
So I was hyped. I was like, look,
that.
I'm about to give it to him. He ain't even know kid. But we finna do it. We finna.
I take
I
that.
love that. I love that
Listen,
so much.
man, my friends called me clever because they said I was gifted. I never thought it was better. Just always knew it was different. I couldn't hide in the crowd, fam. There's no doubt. See, I tried it a few times, but it didn't work out. More bars than the prison. It's just the way that I'm living. I'm taking my opposition and making them sit and listen. Got a problem with clever. Don't be a coward to say that. But don't be talking reckless on tracks. I'm not going to play that. I hit them in the head with the verse and make them lay back because I brought my vowels from Vanna, the next pat, not to say Jack. Oh, man.
I'm Ricky Willis. You might have seen me on TV, and now I'm taking on the podcast world. Join me as we dive into stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. I believe everyone has a story we can learn from. Let's talk about yours. This is the Clever Conversations Podcast.
What's going on, baby? It's your man Clever with Clever Conversations, you know. So today, I have the pleasure of speaking to my cousin, Inspirational Treasure.
That's good.
What's going on?
Good. How are you?
Good. How are you is the question.
I'm grown up.
It's overrated. It is overrated. I've been grown up for a long time.
I know.
It's overrated.
That's the point.
Listen, Mama, I'ma stay in a child's place. Can I have my room back?
But ultimately, I'm saying that, man, it's been a minute.
It's been a long time since we chopped it up, fam.
And here we are.
And you've been doing a lot of things since then.
I sure been attempting to do
Come on, man. So you're coaching, you're ministering, you writing books, traveling. Come on, just you're not attempting. Like it looked like you pretty much getting down to it, cousin. So let's tell the people. I know you.
Yeah.
I've been knowing you all your life.
All my life.
So let's tell the people a little bit about who you are. Who is Shalonda, Inspirational Treasure? Who is she?
Well, I give it to you like I give every TikTok follower, whoever, but this is the Inspirational Treasure I am, a.k.a. Apostle Shalonda, Coach Treasure, Prophet Shalonda. Oh gosh, Shalonda Treasure, Williams-Lynard, the author. Whatever treasure you're looking for, baby.
Pookie and Sam, Roman, Evelyn's sister.
David and Pierre.
David and Pierre.
Everybody, you want me to name them?
No. We don't. This is a 2-hour show. We don't have.
That's what happened if we start naming aunties and uncles and cousins.
And fam. So, and the reason for that, just so if y'all don't know, we are from a huge family. Like our grandparents had 21 children, and 19 of them survived. So our family is huge.
Foster kids after that. I'm like,
foster kids,
professional parents around here.
And my mother and Aunt Gail were the only two that had two.
Wow, because everybody
think
else
about it.
Was they?
My mother and Aunt Gail were the only two that had two.
Yeah, they took it seriously.
Yeah, they used to lay like this in the bed. Like, I was talking to Mom. I said, Mom, y'all went to school. Y'all was a gang. She said people used to call them a gang because there was so many of them.
Yeah, that's
it was half the class.
Yeah. It's so much so that their age gap was like crazy long because Uncle Ernest got rest his soul.
Rest his soul, rest in peace, Uncle Ernest, our uncle passed.
He did it.
And he looked really good.
So great. But from his age down to, Ronnie's age, we talking a big gap of space. And so we do have a huge lineage and man, I'm proud to be a part of it.
I'm proud to be a part of it too. I wouldn't change it for a thing.
I know that's right.
Except one of those new pickup trucks I saw. I'm just kidding. So what are you doing now? Let's tell the people a little bit about what you do. I know you write books, you minister. So tell let us know what's going on with you.
Oh man, so Apostle Treasure does, been called to the Great Commission teaching, to teach love as the Great Commission, which that's what Christ Joshua taught. So that's what we teaching. As a prophet, I don't know not ever being that person. Right. And I don't know not ever being a coach either. I think we just found a name for it later.
Right.
But yeah, so my ultimate goal is to help people heal through love. and to really help them to understand what this is all really about. And so I'm doing that in many different capacities, whether it be writing, whether it be spoken word, whether it be, worship, whether it be a clever conversation.
A clever conversation. So with the helping the people find the love, it almost feels like this could have been your call, because in your life you navigated from one point to finding the love.
Yeah.
So
or fully embracing that just because I had the love didn't mean that everybody knew how. You know what I mean? Because we all have it. There's if the great I am, if he's omnipresent, he can't be absent from any part of us. And if God is love, then that's in everything. We just have to discover it, and it looks different to everybody. And growing up, I didn't really understand that. I just knew everybody should be as happy as me to be with you. You know what I mean? Come here, give me a hug.
Give me love, baby.
Listen, if I could hug the whole world, I would, and that's no understatement.
And you have been hugging the whole world. You've been sharing your love of your prophecy. You've been coaching. You've been writing books, giving everybody opportunity to experience your love. So how many books are we out now?
Thank you for asking that question, because you about to try to make me cry. Don't be doing that. I'm trying to be a G. A queenly G. But I have about 18 books to date, and about 9 collaborations.
Books and 9 collabs.
Yeah. I've been doing this since 2007.
Couple days.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, a couple days.
Yeah. And I think I have some other ones, maybe some ebooks that I put in some courses or something. But we talking Amazon books, okay?
So let's talk about, how did you get into coaching and or teaching? How did that? What was the inspiration behind that, and how did it come to fruition?
I don't know I guess I was inspired to do it, but I feel like I've been doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've been doing that my whole life, and finally finding a name for what it was, because I really wanted to go to school for psychology. I wanted to, and I did, I'm about to finish this little psychology degree since I was 18 at this point. But I had to find something different that truly defined me, because though I understand that people have their thing,
right?
I didn't want to diagnose people with stuff I couldn't pronounce. So
ish.
The diagnosis be real, the symptoms be real, but I wanted to give it in practical language, if that makes sense, really.
Yeah.
So as a coach, I can do that. As a coach, I'm not trying to define you by the term.
You just put it where the goats can get it.
And I'm going to work with you on your symptoms. We're going to talk about the symptoms, but I don't want to give you the definition of some term that is going to put you back in further bondage when we're trying to get you out of bondage.
Come on.
Right?
Man.
You got people who accept the term, and we grew up with binding and rebuking kind of stuff, and some stuff is not meant for that. It's meant literally to be understood so that you never turn back, right? Myself with my own diagnosis is, it's like, okay, these symptoms, I see that. Yeah, girl, you that right there. You did that. Mm-hmm. Girl, you reckless as you want to be, baby. You there, you did that. And so now what do I do with that? I don't denounce who God made me to be, but what do? I find out why those things are, what it is that's holding me back, what makes me fearful, what makes me feel unloved, all those different things. And I attack on one thing at a time. So when I'm coaching, sometimes I think they may want me to give them terms.
Right.
But I feel like that's crippling, if anything. Now, I may explain it to you later.
Right.
Once I see you done started rising up out of where you are. But I really just want people to be free.
But sometimes I think for people, it's better that, for example, if I come to you and you said, and I said, well, is it a headache, doc?
Yeah.
And you said, yeah, okay, now I'm going to say, well, the doctor said it was a headache.
Yeah.
But if you don't tell me what it is, or put it like in that symptom,
I do get that, and I get that people feel like they need to have to define something.
Right.
Right. And truth be told, look at where we are now. And that's the problem. Like, you got everybody giving something a name. And say, for instance, I'm working with somebody who has extreme paranoia. They don't need a term. They need something else, because they probably already researched the term in the first place. That's probably why they're anxious right now, because they don't. That's exactly right. It's the truth, though. You know what I'm saying? And so when you have people, it just depends on who you're working with, what they need. That's why I say whatever treasure you're looking for, we all here, because you may not need me to coach you. You may need me to just be your apostle for a while. Just kind of have you, tucked under, feeling loved.
Sometimes people just need love.
They just need that.
Sometimes people just need love. And the reality from, again, these are just the perspectives of me. Mm-hmm. This is not the view of the business and or my guests. Sometimes people just want you to listen.
That's it.
And need love.
That's it.
That's it. Like, I don't need...
Literally the whole bottom line.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm saying.
It's the whole bottom line. For some reason, it just got complicated because we all different, right? Perspectives bring a lot of questions. Perspectives... Because we can't respect the fact that everybody just has a different perspective. So when you can't accept that, now you're trying to define it all. You don't. Oh, but it got to be this. And if it's not this, then it ain't that, and it can't be this. Become all things to all men, so I can win one. That means I understand all perspectives.
And I look at that like I personally look at religions, Christian holiness.
Yeah.
I feel like if this is how I tell people that I feel about religions.
Yeah.
If somebody said "Good morning, Ricky" in Japanese, it's gonna sound different than if somebody said "Good morning, Ricky" in Russian, which is gonna sound different if somebody said "Good morning, Ricky" in Thai. But everybody said "Good morning, Ricky." Ooh. Now the thing is, I only grew up to understand. When somebody say to me, "Good morning, Ricky," that I can understand it.
Yeah.
Not that this person over here speaking in Japanese wasn't saying the same thing. Yep. I just don't understand it.
I just don't understand it. And so ultimately, and I just had to look away, look at the camera real quick, like, is he saying what I think he's saying? So I literally say that. Like when I'm teaching, I say that. We are all saying the same thing in different languages.
That's it.
You understand what I'm saying? You got a father. He wants to protect his family. It's the same thing in Japanese as it is in English. You roll up in here.
You come up in here.
It's gonna be some trouble.
It's gonna be some furniture moving.
Yes.
Trouble.
You know what I mean? So it is. It's gonna be all of that, but it's all the same. I want my family to be protected. And love is the same. Love, that's the one thing that never changes because it's unconditional. There are no conditions. Yeah. And if there are no conditions, then we got to begin to try more than anything to understand the real message behind it all. And so for me, religions are just people's different interpretations and different understanding. If you grew up in the mountains, you're not going to understand backwoods, hardwood floors. You know what I mean? You're not going to understand. Yep, you're not going to understand desert. You're going to understand what you understand. So when people create religions out of the things they understand and we get upset with them for doing so, then we really don't serve the Almighty like we say we do.
Right. And then again, too, what we do is we block and or shun somebody who we could possibly have the opportunity to bring in.
Do you understand?
Because I don't understand and or believe what you believe.
Yeah. So ultimately, in when I wrote this last book, the last book is called "What If God Is All of Us?" Right?
What if God is all of us?
Yeah,
That's a strong title.
It's a strong title. It's really a rhetorical question because in my heart I already know the answer. You feel me? But what if God is one of us? It was a great sentiment, but when we begin to ask the question, what if God is all of us, and we understand that God is love, then the whole narrative changes. Then I can look at you and understand that I'm not trying to bring you into my religion. I'm not trying to convert you to my religion because Jesus wasn't about religion. He didn't even come to start a new one. We did that.
Right.
Preach. But he did that. We did that, right? So he wanted the lines to be erased because only then can you really truly be about kingdom come. Because if I look at you and I see everything about your past, you're gonna feel some type of way about that. If all I do is judge you based off of your upbringing, your past, your mama them, your cousins them, and who it is, now if I judge you based on your mama them, it's gonna be great. I just thought I'd throw that in now. I love them. Okay. But if because they had love and I'm clowning about it, but I felt love. I felt, yeah, you're going to do life. You're going to do you. You're going to live. You're going to fumble. You're going to fall. You're going to make mistakes. And you're going to pick yourself back up and you're going to keep going. That's what love does. Love says, yes, I see you in that predicament. I'm not here to judge you based on how you grew up. I'm here to look at your heart and see what it is that I can help bear the burden for so that you can grow past this place and actually become yourself. And if I can't accept that, then what I'm saying to God is I don't respect what you created. And I do respect what you expressed as.
Right.
Because you all things.
Right.
So I respect what you expressed as, no matter what that looks like. And so for me, that narrative drives everything that I'm doing in this season.
Man, that's cousin, that got weight on it, man. Yeah. That was strong.
Believe me, I've been feeling the weight because, and I have to be honest, we do come from a very, very huge family, but we come from a huge family of spiritual people. I mean, we gained some, we done got hit with some powerful stuff over the years. But I have to balance that and say that we've also got stuck in some places because kind of like the children of Israel in that wilderness. Like, you was only supposed to be there for 11 days, Pimp. It took 11 days to get through that, but y'all got stuck here. Right. Y'all made a monument around this place. And for me, that totally fades who God is because God is ever evolving. Yeah. Everything that exists because he wants it to. When we were even watching this new generation come up, like now we that generation that's saying, "Ooh, child, this generation." What are they? Right?
We the oldest. We the old folks now.
We the ones that saying, "Ooh, baby, when you grew up, look at you.
I know your mama now." That's us.
It's really funny, but it's the truth. But I get to look at that from every perspective. You know what I mean? Like, I get to talk to the parents who feel like, oh my God, they're just such a wayward generation. Right. And then I'm looking at them like, how'd you feel when our parents said that we were a wayward generation? We were just trying to establish ourselves. They just were used to their way. But I also said to my daughter yesterday, I said, you know what's funny? I said, y'all think y'all parents don't understand y'all, but actually we the ones who understand y'all. Y'all don't understand us because we've been there already. Y'all haven't.
We already been down.
We already did it. But it's important, and I believe I'm still learning this. But it's important for us to still recognize them as the involvement of God. The new generations, whether we like it or not, they have something that we don't. Yeah. And it's time for us to look at them through the eyes of God and not through the eyes of ourselves. So that's the whole narrative.
And the thing, like I like to tell people too, is that every generation there was involvement. We involved every generation, right? Because grandma and granddad, they did life different than their parents. Yeah. Your dad and my mom, they did life different than granddad.
Yeah.
Our children doing life differently than us.
Naturally, they would.
But we all still we're all going down our lane. We're all finding our path.
That's so good. That first of all, let's just go ahead and give you an applause that you said we all got a path.
We all have
our own. Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of God to me. Like, it's so, when I think about God being all things at the same time, all the time, I picture this big array of people, different shapes, colors, and fathoms. I mean, I'm all the way in the galaxies at this point. You understand? Right. Because it's so much bigger than us. But we're stuck in this place of trying to make people see the way we do things the way that we... Do you understand? Yeah. And force ain't faith. Yeah. Faith can't be forced. Yeah. And so when you start to really just step into that place, and I had to come to grips with the fact that it's just going to be some people that don't like what I got to say. And they're not going to be able to accept it. And it's okay for me now. You understand? Yeah. It's okay for me now. And that's a whole blessing.
I was going to say it wasn't always that. It wasn't always.
No, I was scared. I was scared. Because we've sat with the leaders who talk smack about other leaders and other religions and other people and other faiths and other orientations and other things. We sat with the people who did that. You understand? We sat with the people who literally kicked their kids for being different. We sat with people who gave the narrative that if you don't do this, God is going to punish you for it. We grew up with fear-based teachings. So how can you find yourself when you scared as to come out the door?
And one of the things that I got to say that Granddad taught us, Bishop Ernest Williams.
Oh, man.
One of the things I got to say that I am super proud that he taught us is find for yourself. Yeah. Find this for yourself. Yeah. One of the things he said was make it personal, and I never forget that. He said, find it for yourself, make it personal. So making it personal for me is I might not go to church every Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, but that don't mean you love God more than I do.
It don't mean it at all.
Wait.
Who, Jesus?
And because I'm not there, or you don't see me, it doesn't mean I'm getting blessed any less.
Yes. You talking some real stuff.
I'm just saying
now.
you don't have to. You don't. I had a conversation with another person sitting to the chair, and they was just like, I don't go to church all the time, but God is blessing me, and I'm saying the same thing.
Because God.
Because really, when you think about church is the building. The soul is what counts. Because it's a lot of people that go there every day, if you can put it that way,
and still don't have salvation.
And they, they.
Oh, I do though. So I'm gonna tell you, and it's. I love that you're actually speaking your truth right now too, because Romans 14 is a prime example, right? It speaks about faith. It speaks about. Paul went so deep as to say, don't you allow yourself to be grieved by what you allowing to happen. Like, you can't let nobody else deter you from what you're allowing to happen, because you do it as unto God. And if you do it as unto God, he sees that. He reverences that. And because without faith, it's impossible to please him. Think about that statement, impossible, right? With all things, with God, it's possible. So how is not having faith impossible? Because if you don't believe it to be true, then it ain't true.
Right.
So if I'm doing what you want me to do, if I'm stepping in the shoes that you want me stepping in, then I'm not making it personal. I'm not getting to know God for myself, and I'm not really reverencing the fullness of who he made me to be. I'm doing it because you're telling me, is that faith? No. Faith cannot be forced. And so that narrative alone, I believe if people can grip that, would totally set them free, because everybody's looking for a rescue. We looking for salvation, right? Salvation is about rescue. Salvation is about knowing that you can, if you call, somebody's coming, right?
Yeah.
What happens when you start within? Is not the kingdom of God within us? Is that not what Jesus said? So
those were his words.
That was his words.
Those was his words.
He said you ain't gonna be able to see it over there. You ain't gonna be able to observe it over there, because it's within us. So once we start working from within and it comes out, it's a whole different matter. It means, hey, cousin, I see that you doing big things. Let me invite you in, whether or not you go with my circle of people or not. Because I am moved by this love for you that I want to see you shine. Do you understand what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's love.
Yeah.
This ain't no, we not about to, get the bass drum and them things, the bass drum, everything.
We do have a keyboard in there, so.
Well, we got the same rhythm.
I'm saying we do have a keyboard in there, and she know how to play. So
we can do that, and we know how. But now it's not about form and fashion though.
Right.
Now it's not. We're not just doing it because that's what we were taught. We do it because when we go into that space, we really feel his embrace.
Right.
It's not the same as I'm trying to run from you, God. So when I run into your arms, you going. Now, how I'm gonna be scared of you and run to you at the same time? Help me with this narrative, and he did.
And that comes with age.
Yeah.
Because when we're young, we go to church. Let's keep it one. When we're young, we went to church. All of those times we went to church because we had to.
My mama drugged me.
Because we had to, not because we wanted to. Because I wanted to go play with my friends.
Yes.
But Daisy and Raymond said we're gonna, so that was like that.
I think ultimately everything had its place though. It gave us a firm foundation of something to start with. You know what I mean? And I don't take it lightly.
Yeah.
I don't take it lightly that I was taught how to pray or taught how to cry out, because there are times when I feel that. There are times when I'm like, man, something ain't right, God. I'm not feeling this right here. You're going to have to help me.
Listen, I told somebody that I appreciate the upbringing, from grandma and my mother, because they prayed for us. Let me talk about Ricky.
Yeah.
They prayed for me when I was too stupid to pray for myself.
Right.
See, I know I had everything going.
Right.
I'm perfect. There's nothing going to harm me. I'm not worried. But I don't know that I'm covered from my mother and my grandmother.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sure it's other people in our family, the elders that prayed for me. But I'm saying, because of those prayers, I was covered. But I was thinking, I'm good. Ain't nobody bothering me. I'm straight out here. I'm going to live. I'm going to be gone. I'm going to make it home safe the next day.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get shot and or in any trouble because Ricky. But that was just my mentality. So when I realized that, no, bruh, you did it from the grace of God based on somebody else praying for you,
and that's
silly
what,
bro.
And that's what we do for each other,
That's
right?
it.
Somebody pray for me, have me on their mind, right? Take the time and pray for us, because so the message of Christ Joshua was to bear the burdens of one another, right? So our parents bore our burdens when we were too ignorant to be able to see certain things. And ultimately, I won't say we was all wrong, because we're supposed to live with confidence, God confidence and faith and all that. But the arrogance that we have sometimes is the problem, right? And then you grow out of that because you get smacked upside the head a couple of times, and then you come into yourself eventually. It took them time to get there too. You know what I mean? Even though they were going to church on a regular basis, it still took time for them to have their soul be rescued and saved. And there's a difference. So here's the example. So our body, we got this body, this flesh, you know what I'm saying? And then we have our soul, which is kind of the in-between between the body and the spirit. It's the collaboration of them both. But our soul is what get hit with everything. You know what I mean? The soul is what get the heart broken. The soul is what take the abuse. The soul is what takes these things, because we don't feel I mean, we might feel some pain like this,
right?
But that deep stuff, that's in here. That pain you can't touch, baby. So we didn't know about any of that stuff. All we knew is you got to tarry, you got to get your soul saved, you got to keep calling them, and you got to make. We knew that in concept, but we didn't understand what it meant. And I think now I get to teach people what it really meant, because they didn't mean any harm. But now what does it really mean? It really means, let me go inside myself and realize, hey, this is what's causing me pain. All things are permissible. That we are free. We don't have any bondages. But all things ain't beneficial for me.
Facts.
So now we are living that. It's just that simple, really. And it's not about confinement. We have a narrative, because we grew up Christian, of slavery. They were in bondage. They got delivered. We grew up African American, baby. We was in slavery. We was in bondage. What? So our whole narrative has been taught from a bondage perspective. Now I get to sit with myself and be like, that something's missing. What's missing?
Right.
Because I feel bound still. I feel like I'm now bound to somebody's expectation of me and how I'm supposed to live it out and what I'm supposed to do. But you telling me to go full throttle, God. You telling me that I'm in this thing full. You understand? You telling me to do it all. You telling me to be everywhere at the same time and do what I need to do. And I can't. Because it's shackles. The shackles of not disappointing everybody. I mean, granddaddy been gone for a minute. They've been gone for a minute. And I still feel like, oh my God, let me not mess it up. Right. Let me not, because they were so deep. They did this and let me not mess it up. And God said, wait a minute. You think I make mistakes? No, you don't make mistakes. Well, do this. But God, if I do that, then they gonna feel, do this. But God, if I do that, then do this. You know what I mean? He's steady saying the same thing.
Telling us.
And we still don't get it, not because we don't want to, but because we don't want to disappoint, because we don't want to shame.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we don't want to put a bad name on it. Some of my books I hesitated to write because I didn't want to embarrass my mama. I didn't want to embarrass her. I didn't want to tell all my secret stuff and have her feeling like she wasn't a good mom or she didn't do the best she could to protect me or any of those things. But I have to tell the story. Because there are people that I'm coaching, people that I'm ministering to, that they're tired of seeing people act like they got it all together all the time.
And that, I think, is that is a huge difference in the teachings and or preachings of old.
Yeah.
It was always like they were so perfect.
Yeah.
And that's just across the board.
Yeah.
It was also always like, we got it together. You need to get it together.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong with you.
And that's why most of the children of the generations past have bucked the system. And so now what we're teaching is, because we screaming the last days for sure, because everything is so corrupt. And I'm like, it's been the last days since Jesus was born. I'm not saying that it ain't coming. I'm just saying that it's other things to focus on, because now this last day narrative is that everything is so corrupted because we're wayward. But nobody actually addressed the pain. the sorrows that we had and the depth of what he came to heal. And when we address what needs to be healed, I can guarantee you everything will shift. Everything will change. Generations will be able to come together because I can walk into your house and not feel judged because I'm not you.
Right.
I can, and the kids you can go to their house, and if you don't like it, you can be like, baby, I love you, but I'm holler at you because we just don't agree.
Right.
It doesn't mean I hate you though.
Right. Of course.
It doesn't mean I don't want you to be who you are. I want to be able to embrace my kids, whatever the circumstance. You hear me? And go sit down, and if I got to throw some dollars, get my little.
Right.
Because ultimately they got to find their way through it.
They do.
That might not be the final destination, but
like you said earlier, your path is not my path.
nah.
It's like I'm gonna say, Shalonda, let's meet up at the mall.
Yeah.
And you're gonna say, okay, Rick, I'm coming from this area, and I'm gonna say, okay, well, I'm coming from here. We're gonna take a lot of different paths to get there.
But we gonna
But we still going there.
We gonna meet, and I think that's it, right? Yeah. Love is the ultimate maturity, and it's a reason why it's the ultimate maturity. Because baby, trying to love everybody, I tell you the truth, is difficult.
Well, I mean, I know I'm supposed to love everybody.
I mean, you said
I know we supposed to love everybody,
right?
But I'm just asking, can I like some of them? Like I don't. I'm just asking. Now, if I have to love them. Cheers, cousin. If I have to love them, I'll love them. If that's part of the criteria,
it is the ultimate criteria.
But, so I can't just like if I even like twice.
Just like
you know, people be like, it was good. I like you know what I mean. Can I like
I can
them?
be honest with you, liking them is actually the privilege. Loving them is the hard work. You know what I'm saying?
I know. That's why I just want to like some of them.
I know. And I totally get it. Because, listen, believe me, anything that we're called to do, we got to struggle through the situation in order to understand it for real. You understand?
Yeah.
So when you say that, I get it.
Well,
but here's the thing, though. I get it, but I also understand how they probably feel the same way about me.
Yeah, they probably feel the same way about me.
You know what I mean?
Some people just like me. Some people don't love me.
They don't.
And for all those who like me, cool.
Thanks for liking us.
I appreciate you because you can always just like me, right? Yeah. So now you like me, so that's good.
I'm good. I can roll with that. You know what? I think love. So ultimate maturity. That's the reason why that's the journey.
Yeah,
it's kind of like. Taking up your cross, bearing that. And again, I get to explain it in different ways. It feels so great to be able to just break it down for people to let them know, listen, take the stress off yourself. Jesus ain't trying to tell you to go to the cross and hang on it. Right. But it's figurative.
When it's bear the cross, it's not the actual cross.
No, it's literally.
It's not like wood and hammers and nails.
All that stuff that's going to weigh your back down. Well, for somebody in some culture it is, right? But ultimately, it's simply take what's going on with you, bear this, deal with it, be honest about it, and you should be able to be honest about it when you got other people that love you. Right. I know you remember the story of Noah, right? So just a brief, and I'm going to show you the difference. If it was all about condemning people because of their activities, then Noah would have been condemned from being drunkard, right? After he got out this thing. The two sons that came in, saw him naked, laughed, right? Left him uncovered, laughed at his pain or laughed at his situation. The other son came in, turned around, didn't even look on his nakedness, and backed up and covered him up. And that son was honored. You understand? It wasn't about his condition. It wasn't about his acting outs. It was, hey, what are you going to do? Right?
Somebody needs help.
Somebody needs help. I'm going to help. I'm going to cover them until they are well enough to stand on their own 2 feet. Right. Bearing the burdens of one another looks different for everybody. You know what I mean? For somebody, it's just they need a smile today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For somebody, and I do it with cashiers. I do it with waiters, I do it with everybody. I don't care. We could be homeless. We doing it. I'm going something.
Yeah.
Because
I'm about making people smile.
Yeah.
I'm definitely about making people smile.
Yeah. Because lives. life is neutral though.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, God is no respecter of persons. So ultimately, we get to live this life and live it to the fullest, but we just always don't know how.
I recommend trying as full as you can because you only do the trip once.
Yeah.
You get one journey.
I get it.
Do this trip.
I get it.
So let's talk about, let's go into a little bit about the book writing, the book writing process. So if I wanted to put out a book and I wanted to write a book, what would be your information to somebody who's wanting to put out a book? Like, so you would tell them, come up with this, come up with that. After you do this, you have to do that. And after you do that, then you need to do this. What would be those steps?
I'm going to make it complicated.
Make it complicated, but keep it
sum it up, right?
Make it complicated, but keep it as simplistic as possible.
Of course.
So somebody might be listening and be like, I want to write a book. How do you go about that?
Go to my website so you can book a session and ask some questions. No, really.
No plugs. No plug intended.
So here's the simple of it. Number one, and when I say I'm gonna make it complicated, it's because everybody's process is different, of course.
Right.
So often for me, I'm an acronym person, right? And so I take my story.
I'm Aquarius.
I'm through. Cancer over here. Lord help us today. You know, don't. I'm not doing you today because you trying to get me caught up. You trying to get somebody in my inbox later on. What y'all talking about? Y'all signs? Yes. I'm all that. So anyway.
Oh, cousin.
It's complicated because everybody is different. So there's different strategies. I encourage everybody to journal. Journal a lot. If you want to write your story, because most of the time I work with people who want to tell their stories. So I need you to journal. I need you to journal a lot. Just write down stuff because you're going to end up finding your words in there. And even if you have a block, you can go back through your journal, start reading, and I bet you'll pick up somewhere. Some people do it different. When I'm writing nonfiction, I may work from acronyms because my mind is everywhere. So if I got this acronym, at least I know where I'm focused.
Right.
And I may take, say a word like, you know, burden. If I was going to do burden, and I break them down into chapters, those are chapters, whatever that starts with. And a lot of times I'm just writing from inspiration. You know what I mean? I'm literally just getting on there and I just start typing, and then all of a sudden I got like 5 pages and I'm like, whoa, that was a lot.
Okay, so once you get those 5 pages, what's the next step?
So are you talking about when I start formatting? Or are you talking about just in general?
Okay, I got 5 pages written down. Now, what do I need to do now?
Take a break.
Okay.
Take a break and breathe. Yeah, you can.
Look, Cuban cigar.
Yes, you can show enough take a break. Do you hear me?
Okay.
Take a break because, and this is important, especially if you're writing your story, a lot of people get super overwhelmed because you're not just talking about some regular stuff. You talk about your deep stuff. You feel me? Okay. And so you might need to take a breather, go take a run, go sit outside, go meditate, go do something. You know what I mean? So that you can get yourself back in a place where you're ready to flow again.
Okay.
For some people, they like, well, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say it. Again, those strategies, journaling out down everything, having your acronyms. Some people may want to go in chronological order. You may want to start from when you were 8. You know what I mean? And tell what it was. When I wrote my book, Now I'm Not Okay, I wrote it in journal entry form.
Okay.
But I started from, you know, what happened when I was 6, and then I worked my way through the ladder of things. And believe it or not, if you know your story, then you ain't really got no hesitations. If you know what happened when you was 8, you remember the details?
I am so old. I don't remember what happened yesterday. I don't remember what happened this morning. I think I woke up and then came to the studio. I don't remember. I have to check my GPS.
See if my hand go through real quick. Put your hand out. Oh, yo, you here for sure.
He here. I know I just touched him, so I know.
Well, you know what? Again, the process is different for everybody, but take some of those strategies. If you want to start writing, just start journaling first. I encourage that first before anything.
So after the journal, after I got the 5 pages, do I then look for a publisher, or is publishing the next thing, or do I send it to somebody to
to edit and all that.
To edit or
it depends. Yeah, it definitely depends on what you want to do. Sometimes publishers can do all of it. So looking for a publisher is not a bad thing. Because
what is your technique?
So for me, when I actually didn't even intend to start publishing other people. That's number one. I only wanted to help a couple of people to get it out there because they didn't have a budget either. Like I didn't have a budget. So I just wanted to kind of do the
help me write my book?
For sure.
Okay, cool.
For sure. But you're going to be mad at me when we through because I want details. We're going deep. You understand?
I don't recall.
I'm going to put that as a title. Okay? That's a chapter title right now.
I don't recall.
I don't. And then that's when the prophet gonna come out. So then you really gonna be mad at me because I'm be like, so you saying you don't remember when?
I don't recall. My book gonna be quick.
I am so through with you right now.
I'm gonna have the thinnest hard copy. This book only 3 pages.
You can't even publish it with 3 pages.
I don't recall.
Father.
You remember back in 72 when you stole that? I don't recall.
You don't remember back in the day with your prom picture in that Jerry curl?
Okay, now I recall the prom picture in the Jerry curl. Do you know, I had to take my hat off so people can see I don't have curls right now. Do you know how many shirts and suits and pillowcases I messed up with them Jerry curls?
I do. You want your soft clothes.
But the crazy thing was, me, my mother, my father, and my sister had it.
Y'all sure did at the same time.
Oh, man.
You gonna recall something, I guarantee you.
Yeah, I recall
and then
those moments.
We'll shoot the breeze. A lot of people that I publish, honestly, we have conversations. Yeah. And then they're like, what? You know, I don't know if I want to say. And the one thing, and one of my spiritual daughters, she tells this story every time she interviews because she did a couple of books. And this last one that she did, we coached through it. And so I'm reading and I'm like, okay, well, if you're going to tell it, you might as well tell it all. She was like, T-Mommy. Shout out Taisha.
Shout out Taisha.
She's like, T-Mommy, I got her. Yeah. Because if you're ready to tell your story, tell your story. And I'm not saying that you got to give specific details about every individual, but what I am saying is we unmasking, baby. We can't do that halfway. Ain't no need to peel it off to right here. That's going to look real weird.
Yeah, but what if I can't recall?
I'm going to say, well, the Lord said.
Oh, I remember now. So, so what is your next phase? What is the next thing that you're gonna be working on? Because I know you're working on something.
Oh man, I am working.
Your last book dropped in
July 11th. Yeah, on my birthday, and actually my last 2. So if I could write fiction on a regular and not be interrupted, I would. I want to share people's stories through fiction because it makes it a little bit less real for them, but at the same time real, right?
Right.
So when you're talking about it in a novel form, they just can get away. They can be like, oh my God, I can relate to her or him, but they don't have to own it just yet.
Right.
And I think that's important for some people because everybody's levels are different.
It could be realistic without being real.
Without being real. Yeah. So when you're reading about yourself, I've been wanting to write my novels forever, but when I released the first one, when I released Purple's Haze, I was so proud.
Is this your first novel?
That was my first novel, and that was a few years ago.
For somebody like myself who don't know the difference between a novel and a book.
And a book, yeah.
What is the difference between a novel and a book?
Okay, so they're all books. But
okay,
so we got nonfiction and fiction.
Okay.
That's the difference. So nonfiction would be What If God Is All of Us? Nah, I'm Not Okay. Own Your Glow. From Trash to Treasure. Those are nonfictions. Those are testimonials and inspired writings from God to just give to the people, right? Fiction, novels, and those things, those are books that are maybe based on real life sometimes, or based on thought and imagination and fantasy and all of that. So, you ever heard of Zane?
My daughter name's Zane.
No, not that Zane.
I know you talk about the art, the book.
The author. She's an erotica writer.
She's a grown-up book.
Grown-up books. But that's imagination, probably mixed with some reality
I think
stuff.
my wife read her stuff or read some of her stuff.
Man, you should be all right then in life.
Life beautiful.
All right then. So
Keep reading, baby.
hear it. That's like,
Wait, that's why we named our daughter Zane?
I don't know. Hey, let's ask some questions. I bet you we'll know. We'll know. But so Zane would be an example. And I don't know even why her name came up. And probably because people would judge her because she's erotica, but I don't. She's a creative.
Yeah.
And she's telling a story from an imaginative perspective while at the same time dealing with what people kind of probably already do, maybe ashamed to say they do, whatever. But when we write fiction, we can just create whatever we want.
And the thing about that part, to me, when you said something just now, that sometimes people may be judgmental to that. And to me, it's absolutely stupid, right? Because
just because you don't do it don't mean
not
other
even
people.
only that, because it's television series with names of colors and numbers in it that people all saw the show and or read the book, and there's no judgment. You know what I mean? Like,
let me tell you something. I'm gonna be real honest with you. We judge so much, it's crazy because there's a personality test called the Myers-Briggs personality test. People take that test all the time to learn their personality traits. But let me tell them that I studied my horoscope, or I studied my sign, my personality.
What is your sign?
I'm a Cancer.
Okay.
With a Scorpio moon and Virgo rising.
Now I don't know what that means. You just gave me 3 different signs.
Different things. No, I gave you 3 different positions. I won't go into that. But I'm gonna say this. We deem one thing to be righteous and another thing not to be righteous. Which we don't get to do that, right? Because somebody had that epiphany. Somebody had that understanding. And when you read it, you definitely find yourself in it. So let me choose to do what I'm choosing to do. But I will say this. When I started writing the novel series, I started writing it based on our birthstones, based on birthdays, based on what defines or what explains people. Right. So when I talk about explaining, so amethyst, ruby, sapphire, citrine, emerald, those are the names of their children. They wanted them to be understanding of what their powers were. And when I say powers, I'm talking about strengths. I'm talking about the fact that you are strong, you are powerful, you are creative, you are these things. And he wanted to create a legacy for his children to know who they were. So every time you say your name, remember this quality, remember this quality, remember this quality, remember this quality. And it's just opening up a new understanding of things. Like you said before, we have different languages, but we're saying the same thing. Right. Somebody else may have a whole big old affirmation on their wall and they're repeating it every day. And that's, I am.
You are beautiful. You are strong. You are powerful.
You is kind.
You is kind.
You is important. Yes. Viola Davis, that's my girl. So, but you do that. We do stuff like that all the time. We stand in the mirror, especially when you're trying to take on the world. You got a whole assignment. You're doing your thing. You have to tell yourself something that resonates with you. And so I think with me writing novels, I just want people to feel empowered by everything about them.
Have you ever did something, you look in the mirror and like, da, 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 da?
I have.
Yeah.
I have.
Could you share what you said?
Sure.
It's the mirror. Look in the mirror. Tell them.
Yeah. Shalonda, look at you, girl. I know you've been through some things. I know that you feel like you cannot do this, that you cannot make it, but you can. Just think about everything you've already done. Name the books. Name the podcast. Name the places where you've been presented. You already doing it. You are beautiful. You are brilliant. You are excellent because God said so. Who else can say something else? Smile at me, girl.
I say something too.
Go ahead.
I say, Ricky, you so hood you should have been on the original version.
And there it is. And there it is again. But guess what it just did? Look what happened. I'm so random. Let me tell you how random listen. SpongeBob, best day ever, trap mix. Do you understand? I'll put SpongeBob on in a minute and get to getting it.
Listen.
You know why? Because it just interrupted something.
I'm so hood I should have been on the original version. That's the ludicrous version.
It is.
That's my line.
I
just enjoy that. So
That's my song right there. See, he be playing. You play too much. You play too much.
That's my hood. I wear my hands below my waist. I never dance when I'm in the blick because you and your man are ready. I'm so hood.
Hey, play with
Listen, that's my jam right there. So if you I just had a Tiffany.
Epiphany?
Yeah, that too. I'm just messing. I'm just messing. Listen, tell us one thing about you that not many people know. Maybe like 5 people know. Something about you that maybe like 5 people know.
Oh, Lord, help me.
And it's not going to be a lot of people listening. Just me and you kicking it. No. It's got to be something that, like, you don't tell everybody.
I'm trying to figure out what it is because I'm so dang on wide open. I know this is weird because, and I'm not telling y'all because I want to keep it a secret, but really I don't keep many secrets.
And it's not necessarily a secret. It's just that
let me see. Okay.
Only a few people know this. Everybody don't know.
I wish I had my booty back. Oh, my chair. Listen. My son told my daughter a couple of days ago, she's 23, right? She got 2 kids now. He said, Dad, you have one more kid and you ain't gonna have your booty no more. And he looked right at me. I said, you know what? You ain't right. You ain't right. So that's it. That's what I don't tell many people. I want my booty back.
One time for the booty back. Hey!
I'm gonna be able to do it one day. I'm telling you. My husband, he's so sweet about it. He be like, babe, as long as I got enough to grip, I'm good.
Listen, give me something to grip when I dip and we straight. So how long you been married now?
Oh, man. So this is my second marriage.
Okay.
But
first one's the appetizer. This is the entree. So let's look at it like that.
Indeed. I take value from all of it. But this one, we've been, June will be 3 years married. 4 years, nope, opposite. 4 years married, 5 years together.
Okay, cool. That's good stuff.
Known him since I was 9.
Is he from the area?
He is from Savannah. He is, actually, our parents used to date back in the day. Yeah. And so we ain't siblings, so, just.
That is good to know.
Chica.
Coming in the Honda.
Yeah.
That's good
I started to say something real smart, but I'm not. I am not gonna get caught up in that.
Okay, cool. Listen, if you decide not to say it, you decided for a reason. I'll take it, whatever now. So, let's see. Let's get into some questions. You ready?
Let's do it. The more random, the better. I'm good with random.
I'm trying to think. Let's see. What we give you. Biggie or Pac?
Pac. Though I love both.
You gotta give me one.
I did.
Okay. Nas or Jay-Z?
Ooh. I guess Nas because of the intellect. But okay. I'd leave that be.
Beyonce or Rihanna? Mm-hmm.
Cause I'm a fan.
You gotta give me one.
I know I'm working on it in my mind right now because I gotta figure out my whys.
Yeah, because I want to know why.
Okay, so I have a very high level of respect for both, but Beyonce, I would say Beyonce because I watched her progress and I've also watched the amount of ridicule that she's gotten over the years and how she's still bouncing back and still doing her thing. I watched her go over to Africa and learn dances from the Africans on purpose so she can be best at her job. Yeah, man. So again, I have a high respect for both, but I think I've watched her process more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. Do you know that is Harvard or Yale? One of the two, Harvard or Yale. They're coming up with a Beyonce curriculum so that you can study Beyonce at their school.
To study her work habits and stuff. I think that's powerful.
How huge is that?
That's major.
How huge? You to be little lady from Texas. Now, one of the prestige, it's one of them, I don't remember which one. One of the most prestigious colleges in the world is studying you.
Do this. I think that's powerful. And I think that ultimately, hey, we didn't catch Mike before he died. Let's go ahead and do it for B. Because I think to me, and this is just from my observation, when I look at her work ethic, I see him. I see, and you know, Janet does it too, but I see that I'm giving my people what they want, but I'm also seeing her rise above it all. So I just think it's powerful.
Well, I got another one for you.
Let's get it.
Prince or Michael Jackson?
Don't do that.
I'ma do it. Prince or Michael Jackson? I'ma do it. I did it. There's that. Purple
I do
rain.
not recall.
I couldn't help it if I wanted to.
Don't do it.
I did it.
I do not recall.
Okay. The judge.
You ain't gonna do that to me. You just ate.
Judge Diana, she got to answer it. The judge said, not me. The judge said you got to answer.
Oh, that is so tough.
Yeah, it is.
That is really, really tough. Like,
because you got a genius,
and a freaking
then
genius.
you got a genius
Yeah.
that plays all his own music.
Now, that's what I'm thinking. In my mind, I'm thinking.
But
like,
one of the geniuses can stand up and people cry and faint. He ain't even said nothing. Grown man. Oh. But the other one played like 12 instruments. They could play their whole album by themselves.
I think Prince. I think the reason why I love Mike, and you might want to try to make me split him, but I can't.
Nope, you gotta split. You gotta give me one. It's it's the law, the National Association of Music Choices Awards. You gotta give me one. Prince or Michael?
I feel like I'm in bondage. This is not by faith.
Release the chains.
This is by
Prince,
force.
Break the chains.
Oh God!
You heard the crickets.
I'm serious, like I'm so in dilemma right now. Well, okay, so I'm gonna say Mike because of his love. I just say that. See, that's the safe thing to do because they just too bananas for words. Like
Tell me they're too amazing.
They're just like, man.
All right. So, what's your favorite Stevie Wonder song?
Oh man, and I sing it all the time.
Well, give us a little bit.
Oh,
give us
Lord.
a little bit.
Golly, Ribbon in the Sky.
Okay.
For our love. Yeah,
Okay.
I might sing that. Oh, so long for this night I pray that a star, yes, will guide you my way. Listen, and he did to share with, oh my God, the special day.
Me the special day.
Oh, Marco, I love you.
There's a
Ribbon in the sky for our love.
Stevie Wonder is amazing. Stevie
Oh
Wonder
my
is
God!
amazing.
Like he is just so bananas, and he has a lot. Actually, he has a lot of songs that I listen to, and there are
Do
many.
you know he wrote a lot of songs? I don't remember. I was listening to the radio the other day, and they said such and such song, and Stevie Wonder wrote that song. I was like, what?
I don't doubt it. That happened to me with Babyface too. When they did a Babyface like collab like thing, and he just started singing all the songs that he wrote for other people. I was like,
Robert Kelly did a lot.
don't play with the man. That man got gifts and skills. I could care less what I got to say. All this
Did a lot. He wrote for some of the greats. Neil wrote for Lionel Richie.
Shut your mouth.
What?
How dope is that?
That's dope.
That is bananas.
Yeah.
I know somebody else that we know personally, God rest their soul too, that wrote for a lot of people. His name was Corey Williams.
Talk about the cousin.
I'm talking about, you know what? I thought about him the other day, and of course, you know, we got some celebration to do, but man, Ricky, they sent him off right. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Everything that he
That was a singing fool, man.
Was in singing and shouting fool.
That was
but he was such
fool,
a
man.
lover. He was a lover of people. But I remember, and this is the thing that I'm saying that about him, because I remember when we were at Reese's funeral, Daddy preached, my father preached, and then Corey stood up on the pulpit, made the whole church, because we was all family mostly, made us all stand up, and we was in such unity, swaying back and forth. He had us all singing, because he don't play no games.
All us was in the choir.
We was in the choir, and we got up and did it too.
All
and we
us
got
was in
the
the
same
choir.
rock. Wait.
All us was in the choir.
Ernest and Daisy, grandkids and kids, they got the same sway. We got the same sway, and when we get ready to do this, we do that the same too. It was crazy, but he wrote for a lot of people, and I just think musicians are the ones who can write other people's lyrics and know the voices that can sing them and execute them the right way. I think that's powerful there.
I just think it's our family just come from a huge musical background. So somebody was asking me not long ago how I got into rap, and I told them that my mother wrote poetry, and so my dad was in a band. So your acronym, rhythm and poetry, I didn't have no choice but to rap.
I love that.
Now, unfortunately,
That's
I
the name
took
of your
all
book.
the gift from my sister, because I don't know what she don't know how to dance.
Let me tell you something now. Don't do her.
She don't know how to
She's
dance.
not here to represent herself, but I will say.
If my sister was here,
She
you
is-
know what I would say to my sister? You don't know how to dance.
And you know what she would do? She would be like, I love you so, Mimi. Don't be messy. Don't do that.
So I just, you know, I felt like rapping was what I had to do, and it's not had to do. It was a love of poetry and a love of music, and it just kind of blend into one.
That's the name of your book.
And I think that
Can you somebody write it down? Somebody write it down and text me.
And
Make sure.
I think that my love for music transitioned into my daughter.
Yeah.
Because she is a producer. She does engineering. She runs my board at my podcast.
Yeah.
She runs my recording studio. She don't even let me in the recording studio if she's not there, so I don't get
You
to
are
go
not
in there.
allowed.
She actually's been doing making my music for my Mike Hossolo commercials for the last 5-6 years.
Do yourself a favor.
Yeah, she's been doing my music for my commercials for the last 5-6 years. So I think that a lot of my love for music transitioned to her. I feel like that, and she is just, and she rap like she crazy. Like
I believe
and
it.
And I don't say it because she my daughter. I
believe
say
it.
it because she a beast. Like she spit.
I believe it.
crazy.
I believe it. I might have to bring that spoken word stuff
And
around
I
here
feel
and let her
like
fix up some tracks.
I feel like I taught her everything
she knew.
Nah. All right. Let's see. Let's go. If you could live anywhere in the world right now, where would you live?
Savannah.
It's the crickets.
God, I don't even know names. Where would I live? I don't know.
Different country? No?
I think I would live in a different country, but no, definitely a different country with more peace, with no war, and I don't know where that is. You know what I mean? That makes
probably
sense.
Iceland.
Why somebody just said that on something I was listening to the other day?
You know, it was
But I'm
hard
not
for
gonna
me
be
growing
there.
up that Iceland is green and Greenland is ice. You know that, right? I didn't know that.
That's crazy.
Iceland seemed like it's gonna be ice, and Greenland seemed like it's gonna be green, but no, they the opposite.
I might have to actually look into that because I'm listening to a audio book called Born to Love, and he was literally talking about Iceland and how there's less crime rates, there's less all of these
It's a
different
bunch
things.
of goat and sheep too, I think.
But they're collective and they bear the burdens of one another. Like
Yeah.
literally, they don't have the same pressures. So I don't
Man.
know. I might have to take a look.
Listen, if you find a place with a garage so I can smoke my little cigars,
Yeah.
I'm
You
in.
gonna, we're gonna make it happen.
We'll
then.
go together.
Yes.
So, family, listen, I want to say thank you, Treasure, for taking your time out of everything that you're doing to come spend some time with your boy.
It's been my pleasure.
Appreciate all the laughs and the camaraderie and just the you ain't really had to say the Jerry curl thing because it make me like when people talk about my Jerry curl. Nah, that's just memories, family.
It is, but it was pleasant ones and beautiful ones.
I wouldn't have changed. Listen, they could say what they want.
Oh, you was killing the game. Don't get it twisted.
That was me though. You know, it was a part of my journey, if you will.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a great part.
So how can people reach you if they wanted to reach you and ask questions about your journey, about your books, about anything? How can people reach you?
The easiest way and the best way to do that is to go to my Linktree page, Linktree/inspirational treasure without the I in the front. So start with the N, but that's the best place to go so you can just tap into everything. Tap into the coffee site where you become a supporter. We're right now in the middle of a 31-day gratitude affirmation. You know, we just do different things there so people can find their way at their pace, right? But you can find that. You can find the link to the books on Amazon. You can find a way to register for coaching sessions if you want it. If you want to inquire about publishing that book, you know, you want to tell your tale, then you can definitely hit me up about that. And that's the best way to do it. Even the handles, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of that is on that same page.
So, somebody want to buy your book from Amazon, they go to a separate page to buy it, or how would I look it up on Amazon?
If you go to Amazon and you want to look it up title by title, then you can do that, or just look up Shalonda Treasure Williams-Lynard. Okay. Yeah, or go to that, like I said, that Linktree page. When you go there, it'll say books by Shalonda Treasure Williams-Lynard. So that's the best place to go.
Okay. Well, listen, cousin, Shalonda, inspirational treasure. I love you to life. And ain't nothing you could do about it.
Absolutely not. And I love you.
And you don't get to stop loving me till I say it.
I won't.
And I'm not going to say it. So we're good.
I know that's
so
right.
We're good.
Yes.
So we want to just end every session by remembering people. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, subscribe. Please subscribe to our page. Let us get up, man. Help your boy out. Yeah. And we like to get out by saying 2 fingers, 1 love.